What if Superman wasn't the hero we thought we knew? What if, instead of protecting humanity, he truly believed he was sent to rule the world? In this epic alternative ending story, the Man of Steel faces his greatest battle, not against Lex Luthor, villains or aliens, but against humanity itself, and even those he loves most. Discover how absolute power, morality, and hope collide when a god walks among men, and what happens when the savior becomes a tyrant. Get ready for a cinematic journey full of action, drama, and twists you never saw coming. Now take a deep breath and let's go. A cold wind sweeps over the endless skyline of Metropolis. The city hums beneath a golden sunrise, glass towers reflecting the light of a new day. But beneath the surface, the world trembles. Humanity stands at a crossroads, unaware that history is about to split in two. Superman hovers high above the clouds, his cape swaying like a flame in the wind. His eyes, calm yet burdened, watch the earth below, a planet filled with noise, chaos, greed, and hope. In this moment, he still believes in them, in us. But something is changing. Lex Luthor's voice echoes across every screen, every frequency, every heartbeat of civilization. He has done what no weapon ever could. He has made the world doubt its savior. A series of intercepted messages, allegedly from Krypton itself, flood the networks. They show Jor-El and Lara, Superman's biological parents, speaking from the holographic archives of his ship. Their words are edited, twisted, reshaped by Luthor's genius and malice. "My son, you were sent not to live among them, but to lead them." The words pierce Clark's mind like shards of crystal. He replays them over and over. To lead them. For years, he has struggled between two worlds, between the boy raised by Martha and Jonathan Kent and the being of power beyond comprehension, between man and God. And for the first time, he begins to wonder if all his restraint has been a mistake, if perhaps his destiny was never to serve humanity, but to guide it. Days pass. The media erupts in debate. Some call it a hoax, others claim divine revelation, religious leaders speak of prophecy, politicians panic, and through it all, Superman remains silent, watching, listening, thinking. In the fortress of solitude, surrounded by the ice and whispers of his forgotten world, Clark kneels before the crystal console. The hologram of Jor-El flickers to life. The same voice that once comforted him now feels commanding. "You will give the people of Earth an ideal to strive toward." Those were the original words. But now, the message sounds different. It feels like a commandment. His reflection in the ice looks different too. The gentle farm boy from Kansas fades, and something ancient, regal, begins to emerge. He remembers every war, every corruption scandal, every starving child he's ever seen, every time he saved someone only to see another take their place. He begins to think, maybe mercy isn't enough. Maybe the world needs more than hope. Maybe it needs order. And then it happens. The turning point. During a UN summit on global disarmament, Superman descends from the sky. Cameras capture every second. His presence silences the room. The delegates rise, some in awe, others in fear. He floats to the center, his cape billowing like a crimson storm. "I have watched you try to build peace," he says, voice deep and calm. "I have watched you fail, again and again." The crowd murmurs. Today, that ends. In a single motion, he lifts his hand. Every nuclear missile silo in the world activates, not to launch, but to rise into the atmosphere. He seizes control of them all through Kryptonian technology embedded secretly within his suit, the very technology Luthor once feared he might use. Moments later, the sky ignites. A storm of light bursts across the stratosphere as every weapon of mass destruction disintegrates under the heat of his solar vision. The world watches in stunned silence as Superman erases humanity's power to destroy itself. Cheers echo from millions. Protests erupt from millions more. But for Clark Kent, this is no longer about sides. It's about purpose. The peace begins as a miracle and ends as a mandate. He dismantles corrupt regimes. He removes dictators one by one. He ends wars in days. Criminal organizations vanish overnight, but so do free elections, so do dissenting voices. In a matter of months, the planet is unrecognizable. Poverty declines, famine disappears, but so does freedom. And in the quiet streets of Metropolis, the once vibrant symbol of hope, the red and yellow S, now waves from banners on every government building. It no longer means Superman. It means order. From the ashes of democracy, a new regime rises. The Kryptonian Peace Authority. Superman sits in the Hall of Justice, now his throne room, not of arrogance, but of conviction. He truly believes he has saved the world, and perhaps in some way he has, but the cost has only begun to reveal itself. Far beneath the earth, in a secret facility, Lex Luthor stares at a hologram of Superman's face. His body is bruised, his voice broken, but his mind burns with hatred and irony. "He did it," Lex whispers. "He actually did it." He turns to his reflection and smiles through the pain. "You played God, Kal-El, and now you've proven me right. The seeds of rebellion are sown. In the shadows, Bruce Wayne disappears. His mansion is empty, his company dismantled. But whispers travel through the underground. The Bat lives." And far above the clouds, Superman gazes at the planet, unaware that his greatest challenge is yet to come. Not from alien invaders, not from monsters or machines, but from the very thing he swore to protect, humanity itself. The savior has become the ruler, the protector, the judge. And somewhere deep inside, a small voice, the voice of Clark Kent, begs him to stop. But the God of Earth no longer listens to men, only to destiny. The world is at peace, but peace has never felt so cold. If you're enjoying this epic journey into an alternative ending story, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Join us for more stories where heroes rise, fall, and reveal secrets you never imagined. Stay with us until the end, because the adventure is far from over. Now let's continue. The world adjusts to its new sun. A god in blue watches from the heavens, and no one dares to challenge his light. At first, people believed. They called it the Golden Age. Crime dropped to nearly nothing, borders opened, hunger became a word from history books. Nations no longer fought, because they no longer had the choice. Superman had delivered paradise, one built on obedience. He never raised his voice. He didn't need to. A single look from him was enough to quiet riots, to end debates, to make presidents tremble. His justice was swift, absolute, and silent, and yet, beneath the peace, something dark began to breathe. News channels were replaced by the Voice of Truth, a Kryptonian-controlled network broadcasting messages of unity, devotion, and fear. Statues of Superman appeared in every capital. His crest, once a symbol of hope, now glared from every flag, crimson and gold, a warning written in the sky. Lois Lane watches from her apartment window. Her fingers tremble as she writes, not articles anymore, but hidden letters to a resistance no one dares to name. She remembers the man she loved, the gentle farm boy from Kansas, who smiled when he saved a cat from a tree. That man is gone. What remains is something divine and terrifying. He still visits her sometimes, still calls her Lois, but each visit feels colder. His words rehearsed, his eyes too still. "Lois," he says softly one night, standing before her, as the city lights flicker behind him, "you always told me the world needed hope. I've given them that." She shakes her head. "No, Clark, you gave them silence." A pause, the faint echo of thunder outside. His face hardens. They're safe now. They're prisoners. He looks away. The sound of rain against the window fills the silence between them. Then he turns, and in that instant, the tenderness in his eyes vanishes. They'll understand one day. He leaves through the balcony, vanishing into the storm. Lois collapses onto the floor. The rain outside begins to fall harder. For the first time she feels afraid, not of him, but for him. Somewhere in the shadows of Gotham, a figure watches the storm too. The cowl hides his face, but the eyes beneath burn with grim purpose. Bruce Wayne has seen empires rise and fall, gods appear and vanish. But this is different. He once called Superman his friend. Now he calls him target. Wayne Enterprises has been dismantled under Kryptonian regulation, but Batman's mind and his war are far from finished. Hidden deep beneath the ruins of the Batcave, machines hum again. Old plans resurface. Files marked contingency flicker on holographic screens. He murmurs to himself, every god can bleed. Across the world, whispers of rebellion rise. Soldiers, scientists, and former heroes gather in secret. Wonder Woman, torn between love for peace and loyalty to freedom, withdraws to Themyscira. The Amazon Queen refuses to kneel. We serve no man, she declares, but even the gods watch her with fear, for Superman's shadow now stretches across the oceans. In Central City, Barry Allen stops running. The Speed Force itself feels heavy, constrained by Kryptonian surveillance. Every superhuman is monitored. Every act of heroism unauthorized by the regime is punished. One by one, the symbols of hope vanish or fall in line. Green Lantern, manipulated by guilt and idealism, joins Superman's cause. He's right, Hal says. Peace through strength. But others, Aquaman, Shazam, Cyborg, hesitate. The Justice League is no longer united. It's fractured, uncertain, trembling beneath the weight of its own creation. And yet, the world believes it's saved. Children grow up saluting banners with the S-shield. They pray not to gods or leaders, but to the man who watches from the sky. The myth of Superman becomes faith. The faith becomes law, but not everyone kneels. In a hidden facility beneath Metropolis, Lex Luthor limps through a corridor lit by flickering red lights. His body is scarred, his mind sharper than ever. Machines hum around him, prototypes built from stolen Kryptonian cells, fragments of Superman's ship and his own blood. He calls it the Red Sun Project. A weapon designed not to kill Superman, but to remind him what he is. Humanity made you their god, Lex whispers as he injects a vial into a containment core. Now let's see if you can still feel what it means to be one of them. The machine glows crimson, bathing the room in a haunting red light. The symbol of the sun, the one force that weakens the god, flickers across the walls. Luthor smiles, not out of hatred, but grim satisfaction. You wanted to lead, Kal-El. Let's see if you can lead when you bleed. Meanwhile, the world above begins to crack. Rumors of resistance spread through encrypted channels. People whisper of a man in black who moves through shadows, a ghost, a myth, a bat. Graffiti begins to appear in the backstreets of Gotham and Metropolis alike. Simple words, painted in blood-red ink, remember who we are. Superman's patrols grow harsher. Drones sweep the cities. Artificial intelligence powered by Kryptonian code identifies traitors of peace. One night, high above the planet, Superman floats in silence, listening to the voices below, millions of minds, billions of prayers. He closes his eyes. He wants to believe he's done the right thing, that his parents, both Kryptonian and human, would be proud. But in the endless hum of humanity, he hears something he never expected. Fear. A mother telling her child not to speak too loudly about the old days. A soldier whispering regret, a man praying not for salvation, but for permission. And in that moment, something inside him trembles. Is this peace? He whispers. He descends to the fortress again, seeking comfort in his father's image. But the hologram of Jor-El seems colder than before, its voice more mechanical, its message absolute. You have fulfilled your destiny, my son. They are safe. They will follow. But the echo of Martha Kent's voice still lives in him, faint and fragile. You can't save everyone, Clark, but you can love them. He closes his eyes, and for the first time he hesitates. Somewhere deep inside, the last spark of Clark Kent flickers. But the world's new God cannot afford to doubt. Not now, because the shadows are moving, and the resistance is about to rise. The age of fear has lasted too long. Whispers have turned into murmurs, and murmurs into movement. In the ashes of forgotten cities, the rebellion takes its first breath. The bat returns. It begins with a symbol, the silhouette of a bat projected on the clouds above Metropolis. For years, the sky belonged only to Superman, the domain of gods. But now, it carries a challenge. The people stare upward in silence. For the first time in years, someone dares to stand against the sun. Superman watches from the watchtower, his orbital fortress, built above the planet like a throne in the heavens. His eyes narrow. He doesn't need words. He knows who it is. Bruce. He flies down through the atmosphere, a comet of fire and rage. The ground trembles as he lands on a rooftop in Gotham and finds the bat waiting for him. The two stand face to face, silent, the rain falling between them. Clark speaks first, his voice calm, but edged with something colder than anger. "Why are you doing this, Bruce? You, of all people, should understand what I'm trying to build." Batman doesn't move. "You're not building a world, Clark. You're burying one." Superman takes a step closer. The air hums with power. "You think your fear makes you righteous? Look around you. The wars are over. People are safe." "Safe?" Bruce growls. "You mean controlled." Clark's eyes flash red for an instant. "You always wanted justice." "Not like this," Bruce replies. "Justice without choice isn't justice. It's obedience." The silence that follows feels heavy enough to crush the world itself. Then Batman says something that cuts deeper than kryptonite. "You're not the man Martha Kent raised." For the briefest moment, something flickers in Clark's face. Pain. Then it's gone. Without another word, he flies into the storm and disappears. That night, the world changes again. Superman declares a new decree. Resistance equals treason. The Kryptonian Peace Authority begins sweeping through cities, arresting suspected rebels. People vanish in the night, families whisper in fear. But Batman's movement spreads faster than his enemy can contain it. Underground channels connect cities. Old heroes resurface, not in costume, but in courage. Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow, leads raids on Kryptonian facilities. Cyborg, torn between machine and man, secretly transmits intelligence to the rebellion. Even Wonder Woman, conflicted by her loyalty, begins to question her ally. And in the shadows, Lois Lane becomes the heart of the resistance. She broadcasts messages through encrypted signals, the new voice of humanity. Her words echo through hidden radios around the world. "He once stood for hope. Now we stand because he forgot what hope means. We are not his subjects. We are his reason." Superman hears her broadcasts. He doesn't stop them. Not yet. Perhaps a part of him can't. But Lex Luthor is ready to. From his underground lab, the Red Sun project nears completion. Its energy core hums with artificial kryptonite and red solar radiation, the only force capable of weakening the god. Luthor stares at the glowing chamber. His skin looks pale under the crimson light. "This isn't about killing him," he says to his assistant. "It's about reminding him what he used to be." But deep down, even Lex doesn't know if that's true. The first strike of the rebellion comes at dawn. A Kryptonian drone facility in Russia erupts in flames, the signal for a global uprising. Superman arrives within seconds, but the damage is done. Hundreds of rebel cells ignite across continents. The human world, once silent, is screaming again. For the first time in years, he bleeds. A modified Red Sun weapon pierces his skin during the assault. The wound heals within moments, but the pain lingers, not physical, but emotional. He feels vulnerable, mortal. He crushes the weapon in his hand, fury rising like a storm. Lex, he whispers, realizing who's behind it. In Metropolis, Lois hears the news and knows what's coming. She tries to send one last message. "Don't fight him, Bruce. You can't win with violence. You have to reach him." But Batman isn't listening anymore. The rebellion has gone too far to turn back. He's built something. A final plan, desperate and brutal. A modified satellite designed to simulate a red sun across the planet. He calls it Erebus. It's not meant to kill Superman. It's meant to stop him. The plan: draw Superman into orbit, lure him close to the satellite and activate the field. Once weakened, they'll use Luthor's device to contain him inside a quantum chamber, forever trapped, neither dead nor alive. A god in a cage. The day arrives. Cities burn, oceans boil under the heat of his battles. Entire armies rise and fall within hours. Superman no longer speaks of peace. He enforces it with fire, but deep within his fury, something fragile still remains. The memory of Lois, the warmth of Kansas sunlight, the voice of his mother. He doesn't want to kill them. He doesn't want to rule. He just wants to fix what's broken. But he no longer understands that he's the one who broke it. In the middle of the chaos, Lois is captured by Kryptonian enforcers. She's brought to the Hall of Justice, to him. "Why, Lois?" he asks. "You could have been safe. You could have helped me build this world." She looks at him, tears in her eyes. "You didn't build a world, Clark. You built a prison, and you locked yourself inside it." Her words cut deeper than any weapon. For a moment his breath falters, his fists unclench, the heat fades from his eyes. And that's when the sky turns red. Erebus activates. The world below is bathed in crimson light. Superman staggers as the energy drains his power. The sun, his eternal source, becomes poison. High above the clouds, Batman's ship emerges from the storm, engines roaring. Luthor's voice echoes through the comms. "It's working. Keep him in the field." Superman rises, struggling against the pull of gravity. He sees the satellite glowing like an artificial star, and beyond it, the silhouette of the Bat. "Bruce!" he calls out, voice trembling with pain. "Don't do this!" But the Bat replies only with silence. The two collide above the earth, a clash of gods and men. Every punch shatters the air, every blow sends shockwaves across the atmosphere. The sky burns with red lightning. Superman strikes hard, but weakened by the field, his blows lack their divine force. Batman's armor cracks but endures. His voice, calm and relentless, cuts through the storm. "You were my friend, Clark. You were the best of us. But you're not the man who gave people hope. You're what they feared you'd become." Superman's eyes glow faintly. "Maybe I was never meant to be one of them." Batman clenches his fists. "Then you've already lost." With one final command, the satellite releases its full power. Superman screams as the red light consumes him. The world watches from below, the god in the sky brought to his knees. And for a brief, impossible moment, the earth is silent. No wars, no commands, no savior, only the sound of thunder fading into nothingness. But the story isn't over, because gods don't die that easily. And regret is a kind of resurrection. The red sun fades. The sky grows quiet. And from the silence, the world begins to breathe again. Above the smoldering clouds, Superman's body drifts through the dying light. His cape is torn, his chest plate cracked. The once bright S, the symbol of hope now blackened and fractured, flutters like an echo of something lost. He falls, slowly, silently, through the clouds that once crowned him king. Below, Gotham watches. Metropolis watches. The entire world watches. For years, they feared him. For years they obeyed him. Now they see him broken, and for the first time they remember that even gods can fall. He crashes into the ruins of the Hall of Justice. Dust and ash rise into the air like ghosts. Batman lands moments later, his armor burned and shattered. He can barely stand, but he forces himself toward the crater. Through the smoke he sees Clark, bleeding, trembling, still alive. Their eyes meet. Neither speaks. The war is over, but the silence between them feels heavier than any victory. Superman tries to rise, but his strength is gone. The red sun still lingers in his veins, burning his cells like guilt. "Why, Bruce?" he asks, voice weak but steady. "You could have killed me." Batman stares at him for a long moment. "That's not justice." Superman looks down at his hands, the same hands that lifted continents, that crushed armies, that once held Lois in the quiet of the night. They shake now, covered in ash and blood. "I thought I was saving them," he whispers. "You were saving yourself," Bruce replies, "from being powerless." Those words cut deeper than any blade. Lois emerges from the wreckage, her clothes torn, her face streaked with tears. She kneels beside him. Her hand touches his cheek, gentle, trembling. "Clark," she says softly, "you can still stop this. You can still choose who you want to be." He looks at her, eyes glistening with pain and something deeper, regret. "I don't know if I can." "Yes, you can," she says, "because even after everything I still see him, the man who believed the world was worth saving, not ruling." Her voice breaks. "He's still in there." A tear rolls down his cheek. For the first time in years, Superman, the god, the ruler, the savior, feels small, human. He closes his eyes, and memories flood back. Martha's laughter on the farm. Jonathan's calloused hand on his shoulder. The smell of earth after rain. The sound of Lois's heartbeat beside his. The world he tried to control was the world that once taught him love. He opens his eyes. "I wanted to make it perfect," he whispers. Bruce kneels beside him. "There is no perfect world, Clark. There's only the one we fight for, every day." In the distance, the sun begins to rise, the real sun, golden and pure. Its rays spill over the ruins, washing away the crimson glow of war. Superman feels it on his skin, weak but warm. He smiles faintly. "I forgot how it feels." Bruce stands, his silhouette framed against the light. "Then remember it." He turns away, limping toward the smoke-filled horizon. The rebellion is over, but rebuilding will take generations. Lois helps Clark to his feet. Together they walk through the rubble, surrounded by silence. The world watches as the god of earth walks among men once more, humbled, broken, but free. Days pass, weeks. The Kryptonian regime collapses. The banners are torn down. The statues crumble. And from the ruins of tyranny, humanity begins to rise again. People speak in whispers of forgiveness, of healing, of starting over. Some hate him still. Others pity him. Few understand him, but all remember what he taught them, that even the brightest light can cast the longest shadow. Superman retreats to the Arctic. The fortress of solitude stands in ruin, half buried in ice. He wanders its halls, now silent, the holograms long dead. He kneels before a fragment of crystal, the last remnant of Krypton, and places his hand upon it. "Father," he murmurs, "I tried to lead them. I thought that was my purpose. But maybe I was never meant to lead. Maybe I was meant to learn." His reflection in the ice stares back at him, not the god, not the savior, but the man. "I wanted to give them peace," he says softly, "but peace isn't something you can take from people. It's something they have to choose." A faint echo fills the chamber. The recorded voice of Jor-El, distorted but clear. "They can be a great people, Kal-El. They only lack the light to show the way." Superman closes his eyes. Then maybe the light should never come from above. Outside, the aurora shimmers across the sky, a dance of color and silence. For the first time in a long time, Clark Kent smiles. Far away, in Gotham, Bruce stands on a rooftop overlooking the city. The night is quiet. No gods in the sky, no banners, only the hum of life returning. Alfred's voice crackles through the comm. "Sir, the world's asking about him. What should I tell them?" Bruce looks toward the horizon. "Tell them he's gone." A pause, then softly, "Tell them he found peace. And yet, In the far reaches of space, something moves. A glimmer of blue light drifts through the void, faint, fragile but alive. Superman's voice echoes, distant and solemn, as if carried on the wind of eternity. They needed a god, and I forgot how to be human. He turns his gaze toward Earth, small, beautiful, imperfect. I see now, he whispers, that to love them is to let them choose. He closes his eyes, floating in silence, letting the warmth of the distant sun touch his face. For the first time in his life, he does not fight it. He simply feels. And somewhere deep in the soul of mankind, a lesson remains, carved in the ruins, written in memory, carried in stories, that even the purest intentions can cast divine shadows, that even gods must bow to the will of humanity, and that the greatest act of strength is surrender. The camera drifts back through the atmosphere, over the cities rebuilding themselves, over children painting the S, not on banners, but on walls of hope. Not as a symbol of power, but as a reminder of a man who fell from the sky, who tried to rule the world, and who learned at last what it means to be human. Only his voice remains, faint as a memory. Truth, justice, freedom. Not mine to give, but theirs to keep. The end. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. See you on the next video.